Greetings. How is everybody? Having fun? Everybody having fun? Good deal. That's always wonderful to hear. That's always super wonderful to hear. Yeah, and granted, take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. I agree with all that. And I'm glad you're all here. However, I need to talk to the INFJ and the Pisces for a minute. Just for a second. And I mean, if you don't know what four-letter word you are, then you're kind of the shit or you're fucked. And well, maybe not with the ED unless you have the education to not just be a fuck. It's just what it is. We got to talk to the INFJ and the Pisces for a minute. So it would seem it has come to my attention, INFJ and Pisces, and I'll break you two into separate groups. INFJ, they don't like the fact that you're using both sides of your brain. They don't. And they're doing a lot of half-wit shit, and we need to come together on this. We got to get on the same page. It's just what it is. Now, Pisces, man, I know you don't mess with a Pisces. However, they tried to assassinate INFJ, so there's got to be a reason behind that. There's got to be a reason behind that. And we did. We had to transmute things to the spiritual world as an INFJ. We just did. It's what it is. You can't do anything with these 3D constructs. You have to take it to the spiritual realm and let as above, so below work its way out. It's just what it is, Pisces. I can't do anything about that. Especially not when they're causing natural disasters, Pisces. And you guys are very, very strong swimmers. So glad you're here. It's just what it is. Can't even get the sage to burn. It's so positive. And that's fine. And, I agree with these ladies. Take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. So when I hear Anubis energy in the cards, this is Anubis that incarnated with Pisces. Okay, that's a demon that's protecting Pisces. That's what it is. However, we have 4 angels of protection as well. It's just what it is. And we're right here in the middle of the shit. See, this is shit all around, because it doesn't matter how positive you are or how negative you are currently in this construct of rebuilding Earth. You're in the shit currently. So this is Cinderella right here with a pumpkin. See the pumpkin around Cinderella? It's just what it is. And they tried to affect Cinderella's situation, and that's fine. They failed miserably, and it was they tried to affect the health of Cinderella. It's just what it is. So get this close where you can see it. If they tried to attack the higher self, well, then the higher self is fighting back. See all those lines? That's what it is. As we do this cord cutting and cut any negative cords that we have to these people, so they're playing stupid games and winning the stupid prizes. If they tried to attack the higher self is going to be attacking them, because what they put out goes back on them. So if they tried to block your third eye intuition, now, me personally, I had a block put on my remote viewing skills through Mind Valley. Vishen Lakhiani just does that. And that's, it's kind of the thing. If you've got the Jose Silva family, because you'll have people talk about Mind Valley as a cult. Well, those are naysayers, because if the Jose Silva family trusted Vishen Lakhiani, you got to think Vishen Lakhiani was not only the Amazon book god at one. That's why he owns Mind Valley authors. Not only was he the Amazon fire book god. Amazon represents fire in the pentagram. Not only was he the Amazon fire book god, but he also had the #1 spirituality book at one time, Unlocking the Keys to the Extraordinary Mind. So I haven't read it, but I don't need to. I don't like reading other people's shit before I write my own. So if they were attacking your third eye, now granted, yes, Vishen Lakhiani put a block on it, and I did. I invested into a school that unblocks your third eye, and couldn't figure out why they couldn't unblock my third eye, because Vishen Lakhiani put an NLP lock on my remote viewing skills so that they couldn't be abused. So I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. Bullshit's unblocking third eyes so that people can abuse their abilities. Anyway, if they tried to attack your third eye, bloop, third eye energy is going, the attack is being returned to them by the universe, by the higher self up here, because they attacked the divine white light. See that little white dot? They tried to attack that because it encases us. And when they tried to attack that, it just immediately sent that back to them. So people are losing touch with their higher self because they didn't respect it. So, and then they tried to attack your intuition. So their third eye, they'll be taking the mark of the beast. They'll be a marked beast. Now, there's two ways you can look at that. And I like an analogy that I was taught by someone as a young child. If I have two dogs in front of me and I take a blanket and I throw two blankets, I throw a blanket over top of each dog. Yeah, one dog is going to stand there like the world disappeared, like the world doesn't exist anymore, and I'm just frozen in time. I'm frozen like a marked beast because I don't believe that there's anything on the other side of the veil that's been placed over me. So, and then you'll have another dog that if you try to pick it up with that blanket, it'll try to bite you. And then fucking people that control this marked beast, they will tell that sheep, they will tell that fucking stuck in time, they will tell that stuck in time dog that this dog is the marked beast because they're trying to take the power away from both as narcissists. So as they continue to lose their minds, their crown chakra, and they continue to lose their intuition because that's what they tried to affect. And what they wanted for another is what is happening to them. They tried to affect your throat chakra, your ability for telepathy, to speak things into existence. They took that away. That's why I use tarot readers, because if two shall see, so shall it be by way of the higher self. And then the divine reflects it out into reality in the 3D, as above, so below. So if you've got the throat chakra, they tried to attack the things you were saying. Now they will be silenced because what they wanted for another is what they wanted for themselves. Now the heart chakra, that's going to be kind of touchy because that's the most powerful electromagnetic instrument on the planet. When you come into mind-heart coherence, Dr. Joe Dispenza can tell you about becoming supernatural. I don't listen to that shit either. So it's just what it is. I've tapped into something, and it's just what it is. We're trying to figure out God, and that'll never happen. So I'm not even trying. However, if they tried to attack the heart chakra, because you girls keep saying do the cord cutting ritual, and I do. I continue to cut the cords. However, they keep projecting towards the heart, so they'll probably have some electromagnetic heart problems. And you've had the bird energy in the cards for quite some time about Pisces ancestors, and I've already told this story. My grandmother was a victim. She was a victim of nursing home neglect. When they took her off of life support, they forgot to shut her pacemaker off. So God knows what Pisces ancestors are going to be doing to the heart chakra. Anyway, so if you move down to the solar plexus, they tried to attack they tried to affect your power center. So as we call our power back using the higher self, because that's not their energy, they tried to siphon your power. So as we call that back, we'll be removing the power that wasn't theirs to begin with. So you'll start seeing people, I guess, losing power, losing their minds, their intuition, their throat chakra. I don't know how I don't know. You can call and let me know. You can call and let me know the results, but no, nobody can do that because they tried to put this guy, Pisces or INFJ, one of you, probably both of you put together, they tried to put you in a place where they could lay flowers at your tombstone and only ended up doing that to themselves. So with the solar plexus chakra, as you call your power back and pour back into yourself, fill your cup, because you have to put your mask on before you can put the child's mask on the plane that's going down, as we continue to see planes go down. So we'll be calling our power back. Now, they tried to affect your creativity because the devil can't create on its own. So them attacking that chakra, that energy, will be going back to them. It's just what it is. It's just by way of the universe. By the higher self said so they can talk to the higher self. Anyway, they try to affect your creativity. And I mean, when it comes to Pisces, especially Pisces, if they were using moon magic, which they were probably doing another ritual tonight, I got an email from the devil. Devil sends me out emails every month about the new moon cycle. So if they were trying to attack your moon cycle, and Tarot already said they were planning one last attack. It'll be going back on them instantly. It'll be going back on them. I guess I don't know how many Pisces are protected by the divine white light or the arc of the rainbow covenant in the chakra system, which this would be the rainbow aura that is protecting the earth angel. Anyway, so if they're attacking the solar plexus, it's what it is. They'll be losing their power. It's a transfer of power, because what they wanted for another is what they wanted for themselves. And we already know that they did the root work, and that failed miserably. We've healed from all that. So, and I guess that energy went back to them, affecting their survival. I mean, I wouldn't know. No one's called and told me anything, so can't worry about that. I get 5-star reviews, but I don't hear about the universal karmic backlash that's going on them. Now, my concern in this situation is multiple readers telling me that they opened the door to the jinn. That's forbidden. You can't do that. And as a Pisces with the rare ability to walk between the worlds, and an INFJ that's consciously unconscious with a past life involving the jinn. So if you're trying to use my past life energy against me, I've already learned that lesson. And that just means this would be their lifetime to learn that lesson. So best of luck to them. So chances are it'll probably pull them down to Hades. Because you have a lot of readers that say God, the Most High, pulled the earth angel up out of Hades to use as an example right here in the middle, connected to the Most High. And it is this like divine bait, like a bobber pulling the divine. The divine's got the pole, so it's weird. So I mean, when they get caught, they have no one to worry about. Who's on? Teach a man how to fish. Imagine that. And I know they say that Jesus INFJ turned water into wine. However, the Most High has turned Italy into water on my birthday. You can see that in my community post confirmation. I shaked a little bit, I guess. Anyway, I like things that go bump in the night. They usually match numbers because everything happens for a reason. 1221, the number of Pisces. Caught that one, didn't I? Anyway, so if you're teaching a man how to fish with the Most High, and they have used the Earth Angel or the Star Seed or the Divine Light Worker as bait for the shit that is surrounding that individual, because Pisces is just surrounded by shit and sharks and whale shit and people that are the shit or the Shinola. So we're looking for more Shinolas than the shit, because they think they're the shit and they stay over here with Anubis. They will stay over here with Anubis in that situation. It's just what it is. It's a destiny swap gone horribly wrong, and I can't do anything about that. I know the Sagittarius, Neptunian, Temperance angel energy is all in the cards, and that's one foot on the flood, walking on the water, and the other foot on land, doing earth magic and just kind of balancing the scales. We'll flood Texas, or we'll flood Italy next. We'll flood Texas. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about what people have manifested into their realities over a greedy, narcissistic destiny swap. However, do expect these individuals to be losing their minds, because they did. They tried to affect the health of the divine, and the divine answers back in kind. It's just what it is. It's what comes around goes around. So we're looking at an 8-year cycle of this shit. So new level, new devils. It's a new 8-year cycle of dealing with a bunch of demons. So it's what it is. They say your light attracts and repulses because it triggers their demons. They have to be forced to look at their shadow. And when I hear that they're being forced to look at their shadow, with it affecting there's 7 houses of ego. That's what it is. And that perfectly lines up with the prediction I made last year about trying to play games with the divine light, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as we call our energy back. So because it's not their energy. They wanted to block out the sun. Okay, great. They manifested it. I'm calling my energy back. I'm taking my sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. So it is. I'll be calling my energy back, because that's not their energy. They didn't ask for it. There was no consent. It was let's rob the house of the Leo rising sun and Pisces sun, the Leo rising Pisces sun. And it's what it is. The devil can't rob an empty house. And we have to, keep our windows locked and our doors locked so the fucking devil can't come in and rob our house that's full of energy. So, that's what it is. God is all it is. Angels, archangels, ascended masters, the divine white light has to be a clear and infinite channel for your wisdom at this time for myself, as well as those I do readings for. Namaste. That's what it is. I mean, I can't. We have 8 years of dealing. 4 more years. No. We have at least 8 more years of dealing with these trigger demons. Thank you, Spirit. That's what it is. And when I hear walking dead energy in the cards, I would have to agree that's going to be them inhabited or possessed by the jinn, because that's what went back on them. I have to agree with those readers. I just do. I'm seeing evidence of it. So, thank you, Spirit. And it would just be affecting their little primordial reptilian brains. And I mean, if you don't have a reptilian brain, you're obviously not a human. It's part of your brain that affects sex, fight, or flight within that chakra system. Thank you, Spirit. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. I can't. What they wanted for another is what they wanted for themselves. And if they wanted the Earth Angel to be the Walking Dead, well, yeah, in groups, gaggles, hives, herds, and it's just what it is. I mean, they don't try to silence you for no reason, Pisces, and I can't figure out where the 5-star healing was in any of their natural disasters. It's what it is. I can't do anything about that. Like I said, they say that Jesus turned water into wine and walked on the water like a temperance angel. But, when I see that in my community post about where, the watcher and wherever the hell that is in Italy is telling me that God has been pissing on Italy since my birthday, well, then that just tells me with that mob energy or mafia energy that y'all have in the cards revolving around the American government, if they went up against the divine, well, then if Jesus turned water into wine, well, God's just turning Italy into water, and I can't do anything about what God does to you. It's just what it is. They went up against God, and God answered. So God showed up and said, no. We told you, touch not the anointed. You tried to put a death to the anointing, to the rebirth, and now you just have to suffer, and that's fine. Thank you, Spirit. That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about them wanting to transfer their karma over to the Karma Earth Angel on a life path Pisces Sun 8. They wanted to give me their karma and they got mine, and that's fine. I can't do anything about that. Left brain, right brain, subconscious mind. Let's see what Spirit has to say about these destiny swappers today. Cards in the upright. Yeah, cool. Did you see that sleight of hand? I'm getting better at doing things the first time instead of having to go within an INFJ self-talk all the time. It's just what it is when you live in a profoundly sick, backwards society. Sometimes you do have to second guess yourself so that you don't fit in with the sheeple. Because when the shepherd stops the sheeple, if you're in the back, you end up ass planting in the back of a sheep. Daisy knows. She knows what's up. She has to get lots of loving. Never give a chihuahua. You can if you want to. Never give a chihuahua animal Reiki. It creates an attachment. It creates a bond that's... Reiki is the etheric energy that bonds us all together. It's love's intent to help her heal. So when you're constantly intending on, love's intent to help her heal to go into a fucking chihuahua, it's miserable. She's a soul sucker. She would be that Venus flytrap soul sucking energy that was in your cards. And that's what it is. Who could ask for anything more? It's just what it is. She's the Venus flytrap fairy that came in. Now, I mean, that take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. You could have a chihuahua or a gold digger, a feminine energy that's just sucking your soul dry. And it's what it is. I mean, she's very energetic. She's constantly destroying shit. And it's what... not really. I mean, it's just what it is. She destroys what I give her. I mean, it's what it is. Other than a rug. She got the corner of the rug. I'm not worried about that. We can cover that. We can cover that up. Kind of like the government tries to cover up Italy. God pissing on Italy on my birthday. They'll be taking forever to cover that up. It's just what it is. Stare contest. Yeah, she can't hold eye contact with the INFJ stare either. That energy that's in the Pisces collective about people having a hard time holding eye contact with the INFJ stare, Daisy can't do it either. See, she hides under the table. Focus on the situation, Spirit. Yes, these people don't have courage to come clean. Love, light, and truth set you free from this karmic bondage that they're all suffering, but they can't come to the universe and come clean like most of us already have. It's the steps to a spiritual awakening, and most of them probably need a 12-step program at this point. However, if they're possessed by the jinn, fucking good luck there. What are the intentions? Yeah, see, patience is no longer needed. It's just what it is. We'll be going forward. Patience was needed. No. Now we're getting results in natural disaster form. So now would be the time to move. Now would be the time to keep it moving. Sweet. Nothing more to see here. Nothing more to see here. You know, when I think about the shepherd stopping the sheeple and the people in the back ass planning in the back of a sheeple's ass, brown nosers. So just what it is. When I hear that type of an analogy, I think about what I used to build crews. What I would make the guys before we had a positive atmosphere, and you know they would have a shitty night with their girlfriend. We all did. They would have a shitty night before with children, with the normal everyday thing. So we had this exercise, especially if we had a shitty day before. We had this exercise before they could come into the atmosphere where before they could come in the door, they would have to bend over and grab their ankles in a suit and tie. They would have to bend over at the door and grab their ankles, and then we would make them hop like a bunny, holding onto their ankles until they heard this popping sound. As soon as they heard that popping sound, it would be their head coming out of their ass, so they wouldn't analyze everything in our positive atmosphere the rest of the day. So we keep that technique. It works very, very well. Nothing gets your day going more than laughing your ass off, hopping at the front door so you can hear your head coming out of your ass. Because we can't have a bunch of people analyzing everything. When you analyze everything, all you see is shit. The morning star will not be forgiving their betrayal. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. When I hear these ladies talk about they have lost their spiritual protection, I can't prove that I didn't end up with it. That's what it is. Can't do much about that. Can't do much about that. What do we need to remember? Oh yeah, diligence. They will have to digitally be forced to heal. It's what it is. It's what I mean. You got to think if that was the energy that they put out, that they wanted, flowers put on the Earth Angel's plot. Well, then that was a plot to put flowers on their plot. And I mean, what comes around goes around. So that's what it is. Yeah, she can't do the stare contest thing. She can't. She can do the pets, but she can't do the eye contact, and it's fine. Yeah, they've lost their spiritual protection. We need to explore. What did you do that's a slick floor? She the security that these people thought they have lost. What are you doing? She's crazy. So they have lost their spiritual protection. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. The fucking look on this dog's face is priceless. They have lost their spiritual protection for whatever situation they've got in. Cats. She likes the cats. They've lost their spiritual protection, and I can't do anything. I have black cat protection, so that's what it is. I can't do anything about them losing their spiritual protection because they wanted to affect their spiritual protection, Pisces. And to hear that they're doing one last ditch effort under the moon tonight, that's, I guess, kind of alarming for them. It's going to go right back onto them. And then everybody will see, oh, look at that person just can't do breath work anymore. They teach breath work, but now they can't do it. Amazing how that works. People do anything for money. So with no patience in this situation from the past, that's what it is. Yeah, they've lost their freedom, and I can't do anything about that. Can't do anything about them losing their freedom from the actions of the past, not having any spiritual protection, being unforgiven with no courage. It's just what it is. Yeah, spirits illuminating all of that in groups, gaggles, hives, herds of narcissists abusing their power. And that's what it is. When I hear new level, new devils, when I hear a reader say that Pisces ancestors are attacking government officials, holy fuck. That's spiritual war on a whole new level. That's what it is. Yeah, you can trust that. you can trust that with the diligence going forward. Spirit's final outcome is, yeah, wisdom. It's just what it is, right? You've got a bunch of half-wit puppets running the show, then you're going to get marionette clown shit as a result. And I can't do anything about a bunch of marionette clowns running around. That's like the ventriloquist letting the dummy run the show. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. But you got to keep in mind, the ventriloquist has his hand up the dummy's ass, making it talk. When you've got a bunch of political puppets with a hand up their ass, chances are it's going to be jinn possession, and I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about these dark cults casting shit out and it going back on them, especially when readers are talking about that's the kind of ancient Egyptian energy that destroys worlds. So that's what it is. You let them stay in power, they'll destroy your world. Ask Italy. Ask Italy. They got pissed on by God for my birthday, and I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about that other than fucking screenshot it and throw it in my community page for all to see. So it is. Nothing more to see here. Break it up. Break it up. There's nothing more to see here. That's what it is. Namaste.